welcome back to another video on the iRacing channel. Another reveal as such, not a new car, but might as well be. The Mclaren MP4-30 is the F1 car, one of the F1 cars in iRacing. It's had a complete aerodynamics physics overhaul, so we're going to give it a drive today, see how it feels. Hopefully it's going to feel a lot more connected to the road, a lot more downforce, but we'll see. We should get a lot of rear tyre spinning, because we've got so much torque going through the rear tyres, so we have to short shift a lot. So I'm hoping that it kind of feels like an F1 car should. Not that I know what that feels like, but I'd like to think I know. But also we've got the soft, medium and hard tyres that are going to be on the vehicle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a lap in each, and then I'm going to run 5 laps, not going to show you all those 5 laps, and then I'm going to show you the tyre wear at each the end of those 5 laps, so that you can make an informed choice and sort of kind of figure out how tactics are going to play. So in the A safety rating series for this car, it's going to be about 40 lap races roughly, say on average. These races are going to have a qualifying, and whatever you qualify, whatever tyre you qualify on, with what you start the race on. Very similar to Formula 1. So if you're quick enough to qualify on the medium, that's going to set you in good standing to use different strategy, give yourself some clean air to race. Don't forget you've got DRS in this one as well, and then you've got to manage the MGUK, which is the energy recovery system, and how much that's deploying as well, and I'll show you how to deal with that. So without further ado, what we'll do is we'll go into the garage, and I'll show you some things in the garage. So first things first, there's your tyre compound, soft, medium, hard. We're going to start on soft. I'm going to keep the tyre pressures as they are in the baseline package, so nice and low, all of them. Again, you've got some aero packages, some aero calculators, so your front downforce, etc. The higher the number, the more higher the front percentage, the more oversteer you're going to get, and there's your downforce to drag ratio as well. So that's all going to be to do with optimizing this ratio. Without giving up the total downforce, we're going to make your car faster. So everything else stays the same as far as I believe. And then this is your target battery state of charge, SOC, on average over a lap. So the higher the number, there's 3 settings: 25%, 50% and 75%. The higher the settings, the less deployment you're going to get. So reducing it will give you a greater deployment over the lap, however that will leave you less for the next lap. So you can only change it over the start finish line. So usually you want to start a race on 75%, and then what you want to do is, if you're starting to maybe get a bit of clean air, or you're going into the pits, maybe lower it down a bit to give yourself a faster lap. And then if you think you get within close enough to get the overtake on the next lap, and you want a bit more battery, and you manage to save a bit because you've been running 75%, drop it down to 25%, and that will give you a better advantage, more deployment over one lap. But bear in mind, if you run out, you are going to be considerably slower. So that's something to manage through the race. Another bit of extra tactical ability with this car, which I like. It's not just about the driving, it's about managing the car as well. So we're done with that. Go into your options as always with a new car and have a look. So your tail visor, so everything in the dark black needs to be set really in the main in-car systems. The in-car adjustments, we've got the brake bias on, and then your dash page set you can change, and then I've also done the MGUK deploy mode set, which is what I was talking about earlier, and which you should be able to manage from one of the screens, but I don't think it's working correctly. So you have to manage it through the back, one of the black boxes, which I think is F7. But don't forget about the DRS button as well, something that you need to get in there. So let's get on track. I am definitely on soft, and what I'll do is I'll get on track, and then I'll do the 3 different tests, and then I'll give you all the times in those, and then we'll do the 5 laps wear percentage as well. Right then, so I've kept it on 75% deployment, because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use DRS either. I'm trying to keep it as controlled as possible. So no DRS, so can't improve times. No difference in acceleration, etc., with all the different battery charges. And I want to put the consistent times so I can really measure how these tyres work. But as far as the car goes, feels so much better on the force feedback. Feels like I'm actually connected to the road, which is nice. Loads of downforce. We'll see how we get on with the other tyres. Still learning this car around this track as well. Still get a bit of after short shift in the lower gears because you're going to get even at third. The car drives really nice. Brakes really well as well, but I might just lower the brake bias a little bit because I am not getting enough rotation. But that's lap one. 152.1. So what I'll do is I'll come back to you in 5 laps and then we'll do the mediums next. So as you can see, we are now on to the mediums, the yellow wall tyre. And I can tell you already, there's a lot less grip through the corners, especially mid-corner when you want to get the power back on. So bear that in mind. The soft tyres really came into their own. About 2-3 laps you can really start pushing on them. But we'll see how we get on. I've kept everything the same. So everything's the same, and I even reset the sim, so it should reset back to the settings 20 minutes before basically I finished the last one, so I did 20 minutes on the last sim. So now we're back to 4 o'clock again. So you can't push as quick on these ones, I've noticed already. Take a bit longer to warm up maybe. But basically I'm running it like a race setup. So no DRS. Look after the tyres. Short shift after. No unnecessary lockups if I don't have to. Just trying to look after the tyres. It's the easiest way to get a good control setup. So we get the right results that you need to make your informed decisions. Tyres are starting to come in now. Can just start to feel the grip. You can lean on them a little bit more. That's how it is at the bus stop. Alright, actually not too bad. Pretty good. Second down on what I did before, I think. So we'll leave it there and I'll do 5 laps for you again and we'll come back to when we're on the hards. Right. So we're now onto the hard, the white wall tyre, as you can see. And already I'm struggling for grip. It feels like I'm driving a little bit on ice, especially through the high speed corners. So having to come off the accelerator, really manage the car and kind of be gentle with it through the corners already. I really enjoyed the medium tyre. I think that's going to be a really good race tyre. I'm going to hold my reservations for this until I complete it, as I'm already kind of can't lean on the tyres as much. Really struggling to hold that minimum apex speed. See, just drifting out, just missing the apexes on where I wasn't before on the soft and medium, which is expected. High speed's not too bad down there because downforce is helping me out. I think it's the... yeah, I'm just missing the apexes. I'm about to drop a gear here just to help the rotation. So again, a lot of understeer in this one. Yeah, I can go flat through there usually, and I just feel like it's trying to push me out wide a bit. So I won't be able to go flat through here either, so I'm going to have to take a little bit of a lift. Yeah, it's pushing me wide a bit. So there's the difference really. And you can't lean on the brakes, you've got a bit more increase in braking distance as well. And getting the power down, back end wants to go out on you. So I'll do another 5 laps in this. Try and survive if I can. I'm sure they'll be fine once they warm up a bit and I get used to them. But we'll see how we get on, and I'll get back to you. So that's all the testing done now. I really like the changes to the car. I feel like I'm connected to the steering wheel, to the rack, to the tyres, to the road. I think it feels like a Formula 1 car, or how I think a Formula 1 car should feel when it drives. The rear tyres, the way they spin up, you have to short shift, the way you can throw the car into corners, especially on the softs, really lean into the car, really use the downforce of the car. So the faster you go through the corner, it seems, the more grip you've got until you reach that minimum apex, and it seems to want to go on you, which is really good. But let's get to the tyres. So I did the softs, I did 5 laps on the softs, and I ended up with about just under 80% left after 5 laps of doing 1 minute 50.6. Optimum was under the 150, but I did 5 laps of about 150.4 to 150.6. Felt great, they felt really grippy. I don't know where the fall off, where the cliff is. That'd be interesting to find out during a race. I'd probably say you probably want to get rid of them about 50%, probably just under that. To switch to another tyre, you have to use 2 compounds in the race. Then the mediums, they were 5 laps. They got to 90%. They're at 90% left after 5 laps. I wasn't taking them too easy, but I am quite. I'm a bit of an endurance racer, so I look after my tyres quite a lot. But I was doing 1 minute 51.7s to 0.9s over 5 laps. And I was starting to obviously get used to the car, used to the track, and kind of pushing what I could do on that car. But I wasn't getting any understeer. I wasn't getting a lot of wheel spin, locking up the tyre or anything, so I wasn't pushing too hard. And then I moved to the hards, and they ended up the same level of wear as the mediums. But what I was finding is, especially through high-end corners like the one you see on screen now, high-speed corners, the car was drifting, and I was getting a lot. I could hear the scrub on the tyres, so I was obviously pushing the car to where its limits were. I was only going half a second slower than the mediums, so obviously I got a lot more time to find in the mediums and the softs. But I think I was really at the limit. I've obviously found the limit of the tyres on the hard, because after 5 laps I was getting the same wear as the mediums. So I've obviously got time left in the mediums and times left in the soft. So you can find some time, you can push on the hards, but it was especially mid-corner, I was missing the apex for trying to get on the power too early. So the softs and the mediums, you seem to be able to get the power a lot earlier than the hards. So I'd say the softs and mediums are about the same sort of, not grip level, but the way you can attack the corners, especially initially with the softs, you can really throw it in, you can really believe that it's going to stick. But the hard, you've got to really kind of massage the tyres through the corners, otherwise you are going to just wear them out really quickly. I hope this little testing has helped for you. If you've got any more questions, let me know. I'll put the descriptions and the kind of times and everything in the description below as well. Don't forget, you got till Sunday the I want to say 13th till you can go into my giveaway of 20 iRacing dollars. Just put what you want from the series in that video in the comments, and you automatically entered. Simple as that. I hope you liked it. Keep an eye out on the new livery coming out for my LMP2 car. I'll do a little video on that. And I'll see you next week for the start of season 4. Hopefully my shoulder feels a little better. I can really push the cars a bit more. Enjoy racing. Enjoy the craziness of week 14 it is. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for all your support as always. Cheers.